Good afternoon from the O2 on the Greenwich Peninsula in London, on the banks of the River Thames and not far from the Prime Meridian. Today, it's the center of the Grappling Universe's Raw Grappling Championship touches back down for another episode of explosive submission-only action. This is Raw Grappling Championship 2. 4 super fights at the top of the card, 4 nations represented, and every one of them an athlete champion in some form. But tonight, a high-stakes shootout with belts and bragging rights on the line. The world's most exciting grappling event returns to London. Time to kick things off with our undercard here at the Indigo O2. Welcome to Matt's Eye. Chris Hoekstra, Dean Manhat, Damon Robinson with you guys. We're back in London. Dean, if anything last time at Raw Grappling Championship 1 was something to go by, tonight should be fire.
An unmissable spectacle here in London, Chris. Very excited for this card coming up.
Now your expectations. We saw the blue belt, the purple belt super fights last time. We got the black belts. Tonight it's all super fights. There is no tournament format. How does it roll?
It rolls beautifully. There's some immense talent, even on the undercard and the prelims. We've got the main card, obviously some top names in the world here performing in London. But the undercard for me is a real treat to keep an eye out.
All right, Damon.
What's going on? You're good?
I'm good, man. We're here. Listen, I want to talk about this undercard because we've got those super fights down the line on the main card. We mentioned that. But this is about grassroots talent. There's some incredible people here in the backyard. They're being featured, and it's happening momentarily.
Yeah, man, like one of the biggest things that we've always tried to do here for Raw, especially in the UK, some of the opportunities they have are not so, they're not so much like they are over in the States and over in Brazil and stuff like this. We've got to give these guys something to go by. And just looking at the undercard we've got today, we've got some amazing people set up, and it's always good, they're always hungry, they're always looking to show their talent, and we're looking to find that talent as well, so having them here, having them on this stage, on the undercard with these amazing world champions and everything else, they're always going to shine through, and that's what we're looking for today.
So what's the secret? I mean, we're looking at these things, we're trying to take in fighters with maybe only a couple, 3 fights experience, and they're being thrust onto the big stage. Do you see that as integral to building a wider audience with the sport?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, some of these guys are a lot more experienced anyway than sort of a few fights. A lot of them have been on the local competition scene for quite a long time in the tournament styles. So, sometimes these people go to these tournaments, especially the younger guys, they go to these tournaments and they're so busy now in the UK, they can end up having like 15 fights in a day. Some of these guys that we have that I know on these local tournaments, I compete myself sometimes, like I just do it for fun and everything else, and I'll go there, and if I have 2 fights, I'm happy. Some of these younger guys, they're running through like 15 fights a day, and I think it's crazy, but the experience they're getting is great. And to give them an opportunity like this to be on the big stage, I think is also an integral part of their development as well, definitely. And like I say, we want to push this in the UK. We want to find this talent. That's the only way that we're going to keep continuing to build the UK talent and get across.
Now, Dean, you're a newly minted black belt. You've been down this road. I remember when it all started way back in the day. We met, we started training. Fast forward to 2022. Like Damon said, there's just an incredible amount of opportunity for these fighters, but it is different than it was back then.
Yeah, like Damon said, there's a lot of feeder competitions throughout the UK, but this is the big one. They've got some huge guys fighting on this fight. There's going to be eyes on all over the world. And we're on Flow Grappling as well, one of the forefronts in the mainstream for streaming jiu-jitsu and grappling competitions in the world. So this is the feeder now to the mainstream for grappling.
100%. And we are now, I think we may only be the only promotion now in the UK who's streaming on Flow. As far as I'm aware, which is massive, and if we can pave the way for jiu-jitsu not only in the UK but also Europe, and that's what we're here to do, man.
All right, now, very quickly, we're about to get things going with the undercard. About the rules, 6 minutes regulation time, 8 minutes regulation time, 12 minutes regulation time, depending. The only way to win is via submission. There are no points involved, but Dean, in every case, no matter what the regulation time it is, there is a 2 minutes overtime. Tell me about it.
An interesting format, again, with the back mount and the mount, kind of like the old-fashioned scoring system, which is 4 points. But what I love about this, if you get a takedown and then pass the guard into a dominant position, you obtain 4. If you get a sweep and pass the guard, you get 4 points. Really interesting way to rack up the points.
So fighters will be competing to get the submission during regulation time. We'll walk you through it. Damon, this is the best way, you think, to try to put jiu-jitsu and, more importantly, other grappling styles on a big stage?
Yeah, I think so. And it's very much like the ADCC rule style as well. We simplified it slightly just to make it more fitting for us guys over here. But I think this is important. I think it's important to follow the same suite as the main guys are doing. And the way it's put like that, well, you know, our times are smaller, but it creates exciting matches. You know, people can go all out. They could do anything they want to do in that first half or that first part. So the undercards, they've got 6 minutes to do anything they want. They're not. It's not going to worry. They're not going to go down on points. They're not going to suffer from this and that. If there's no submission there, they're going to be hunting for that submission. If there's no submission within that 6 minutes, they've got 2 minutes to make it up, and they can score points. So they've got to turn up the heat in those 2 minutes. You know.
All right, now listen, it's about to start here. We're going on YouTube. Make sure you watch us all the way through to the main card on Flow Grappling. Those are the rules. That's the boss. That's Dean. I'm Chris. We'll be with you guys with further updates later in the show. But listen, let's get these fighters walking. And there's only one guy to do it. We'll throw it over there to the mat and give it to Peter Lowe. Here we go.
Gentlemen, and welcome to the Indigo O2 here in Central London! Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly present to you the most exciting grappling tournament in the world today and warmly welcome you to the Raw Grappling Championship! And ladies and gentlemen, we have a stacked card for your entertainment pleasure this evening, featuring some of the very best grapplers from the UK and around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time where I ask, are you ready to make some noise and tear the roof off this place? Ladies and gentlemen, we can do better than that. Are you ready to make some noise? Beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. Well, the officials are ready, the fighters are ready. It's time to get the action underway. This is the Raw Grappling Championship. And so, please welcome firstly to the mat, Ilyas Kazi.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the undercard. Chris Hoekstra and Dean Midhat, excuse me, with you. Ilyas Kazi making the walk, trained at the B team alongside Craig Jones for this one. Traveling from Belgium, he actually won at the Road to Raw tournament to secure a spot at the O2 today. Ethan Kretlinson in the corner there. Kretlinson fighting later in the main card. Ilyas just got his purple belt. Dean, there's nothing like that feeling being young, up and coming, the world in front of you, and it's your oyster.
Yeah, this is the place to perform as well. As we said in the intro, all eyes are on this one for these athletes to work their way up onto this amazing world platform of jiu-jitsu.
Peter Lowe.
Ilyas Kazi. And also please welcome to the mat, Samuli Antonin.
And Sam Antonin, a guy we know both very well from our days back in Hastings. Also works as a mental performance coach, hails from GB. And another guy we know very well in Paul Bridges, who used to coach us both, Dean. You know, a technical gold mine there at GB. Sam's always been a dedicated student, a brilliant way to open up this card in the proceedings at RGC too.
Yeah, very technical guy, great attributes for his physical skill set, and he always works hard in the gym and comes to perform on the night.
So Ilyas Kazi from Ghent against Sam Antonin from Hastings. Here's Peter Lowe.
Samuli Antonin. And ladies and gentlemen, this bout takes place in the minus 77 kilogram division and will be contested over 6 minutes and with a 2-minute overtime if necessary. Introducing to you firstly on my left, from Belgium, please welcome Ilyas Kazi. And on my right, from Hastings, England, please welcome Samuli Antonin.
So our first fight on the undercard, Ilyas Kazi, Sam Antonin. Antonin with the red band. Antonin very focused, started training 6 years ago. Ilyas also looking to impress tonight. Antonin pulling guard. Talked about the leg locks being dangerous, Dean. That may be the game plan.
Straight for the half guard, now implementing the overhook. Says to me, might potentially look for a sweep on that left side. The triangle's available as well. But like you said, he entered for the system of the leg locks here, but negated on the top position by Kazi. He's done a good job staying away from the butterfly hooks, controlling the head, now potentially setting up a guillotine. Knee slice through for Kazi. I like the way he's channeling these guard passes with the submission attacks to try and hide his guard pass. Ultimately, he wants to get into a dominant position, Chris, where he can submit better.
And Ethan Kretlinson from the B team giving him some advice here. Oh, front headlock position here for Ilyas Kazi. Can he get something, Dean? Nice. North, south. Good pressure here from the top.
Nice control. He's got to try and pass the arms here to try and go for the north-south chuck. He's got to get past the arms of his opponent here. At this point in time, he's controlling the hips with the top half of his body, particularly his shoulder, limiting the movement of Antonin.
And Ilyas mentioned that the pressure passing might be a key factor here in this fight. Again, taking on all the data points from his time spent in Texas. And it's great to see that kind of dedication. You know, the guy flew over to get the ticket to the show with the Road 2, flew over again. It's the kind of dedication you want to see.
And the competition experience as well against top-level guys is imperative with regards to your development as a jiu-jitsu player. Kazi doing a good job of controlling. It's an interesting position here. Antonin is waiting for that ample opportunity to try and invert, to try and escape, get the knees in, and Regard does it beautifully.
Yeah, Regard attempt here from Sam Antonin, forcing the scramble. Ilyas backing off. Great awareness here from both fighters. And back to the upright.
Kazi in with the single. Oh, beautiful work. Jumps straight into the ashi. Oh, he's got a knee bar here, Chris. He's in the saddle position. He's going to invert round. He can follow the leg. Beautiful work by Sam. Recognizing the leg was in danger and then retracted the knee line.
Beautiful work here and a great exchange as Ilyas Kazi and Sam Antonin continue to fight. It seemed unlikely to go to overtime, Dean, but we're rolling in that direction.
Impressive with Antonin's ability to stay calm under fire. His leg was trapped in that knee bar position, but he stayed calm. He understood he had to clear his knee line. Now works off of his back here with the butterfly hooks.
And Antonin was so excited to be able to come out here and perform at the O2. Saw this as a great opportunity. One-way traffic was his prediction. Proclaiming a record of 50-0. I'm not sure whether that's the case. But the 23-year-old Ilyas Kazi has something to say about that. And saw this also as a next step towards big things. Antonin again thinking about a leg entry here.
North-south, but now he's cleared the arms, Chris. Dart is available there, north-south chokes. Antonin's doing a good job of keeping the elbows close to his body to provide a platform between him and his opponent. That's crucial for his escapes and to stay away from those submissions, particularly the north-south choke.
Got about 2.5 to go. Keep breathing here, heavy on his wrist with your hips, carrying your weight.
And very clear corner advice from Paul Bridges and Ethan Krellinson. As both fighters jockey for position, it looks to me like Sam really trying to find some respite here, but Ilyas just so heavy.
He's doing a good job of manipulating his hips square as well. Every time Antonin moves, he's also squaring up, whether it's side control or north-south. He's controlling in this position. That's what he's trying to prevent, those legs getting in. Sam's did a good job of trying to invert through now to top position. Let's see if he can do some work. Minute and 40 seconds left on the clock.
Leg attack here from Ilyas Kazi. Was he going to go straight ankle lock? No, he aborts. He's got another leg in play.
The heel hook's on there. Sam briefly looked like he was going to tap.
It did. It looked close. It looked close. That'll do it. 6 minutes are history. We're going to be going to overtime. A totally different game now.
He tapped, Chris.
Oh, he did? Oh,
yeah,
no,
to
that's
the heel
it.
hook, yeah.
Unbelievable. I completely missed that.
Yeah, we saw Sam's hand go up, and then he tried to roll again, and then it had to tap. There was immense pressure on that knee.
Well, that is the verdict. Ilyas Kazi continues the undefeated run here in Raw Grappling Championship.
And ladies and gentlemen, with 1 minute and 27 seconds left to go, your winner by submission, Ilyas Kazi! And show your appreciation for our runner-up, Samuli Antonin!
A spectacular and almost unseen heel hook, Dean. That was tremendous.
Yeah, immense pressure through the knee. Sam pulled his hand up to tap and then tried a last-ditch attempt to escape. But he had to submit. Irreparable damage done to the knee. A good position. saddle position there from Kazi, very strong position. Made sure that he, as he rolled, he was looking up to set up heel exposure and talk through the knee.
And there you have it. That'll be the first on our undercard. Plenty of action to come as fighters now making their way off the mats. We'll get your second one walking here momentarily, and we'll give it back to Peter Lowe.
Sorry, man, they don't have the time up, but it's on that screen there, the little one. Yeah, sorry, man.
Yep.
Some links around somewhere.
Just to make sure that the guest mic is closed, correct? Whenever. Or no, I guess it.
And for our next contest this afternoon, please welcome to the mat from the UK, Freddie Barkum!
In the world of characters, there's characters, and then there is characters. Freddie Barker, a character who's got attacking BJJ of the highest level to back it up. Dean, you know the guy from RGHQ, has everything he needs to back all that talk up and take out Alfie Davis tonight. Here's Peter Lowe.
Freddie Barker! And please welcome to the other side of the mat, Alfie, the Axeman Davis!
And his opponent, an athlete from the London Shoot Fighters team, who many will know for his dynamic kicks, including an insane axe kick knockout in MMA. He's a former standout kickboxer turned Bellator MMA vet. Quite obviously has a ground game and skill set too. Barker said, look, as long as he doesn't kickbox with me, I'm gonna be able to make this interesting tonight. I can submit him, but Alfie's got ground game skills too, and perhaps some techniques from his more diverse martial arts background that could be a difference. Here's Peter Lowe, and we'll get this one
Alfie
rocking.
Davis! And so, ladies and gentlemen, this contest takes place in the -85 kilogram division and will be contested over 6 minutes with 2 minutes overtime if needed. Introducing to you on my right, from the UK, it's Freddie Barker! And opposing him on my left, it's Alfie, the Axeman Davis.
So Alfie Davis and Freddie Barker. Barker with the red band and the pink rash guard. A tasty stylistic matchup. Davis talking about working on the leg lock game. Barker saying, you know what these MMA guys are like. It ain't going to be close tonight.
He's going to start strong. He's going to try and get that collar tie. He's going to wrestle. He's going to try and get the head and the inside of the arm. Look for the head snaps. And if Barker elevates in those head snaps, he's going to shoot the double leg. He's going to create those openings, create the wrestling to get the top position.
And Alfie Davis, a very experienced MMA fighter, kickboxer, coach, among many other accolades. Freddie Barker, also a PT. But he spoke very highly of the training at RGHQ and his development over the years. He said, look, I was a blue belt taking out black belts. They gave me my purple belt, but I still walk with a pink rash guard. And Barker, interestingly, sits down.
Davis is faced here with the guard, open guard, knee shield here. He's got to try and get past. He can stack the legs, he can smash past, he can knee slice, but he's got to get past those legs.
And this is one of the things, this was one of my questions, because you know at London Shoot, those guys do have great ground games. Alexis, Paul, the coaches there, I mean, they've been in the game as long as anybody. But Alfie's a fighter who usually stands and kickboxes, but that don't mean he can't hang in these positions, right? Yeah,
there's a different facet when you can punch somebody in the face, but I mean, hats off to Alfie coming and trying to test his skills in the grappling tournament, one of the best, if not the best, in the country. But as we said, he's got great wrestling. He's using the 2-on-1 here. His opportunity to set up single legs and double legs, so he can also try and pass and take the back.
Yeah, it was a really nice shock a moment ago from Alfie. Driving forward, Barker holding on to the neck.
Yeah, he's caught in the guillotine. He can finish it from there. If he pulls the left elbow nice and high and switches the grip to the wrist and push, almost like you want to push your hand into the opponent's face. He's going to get asked to start in the same position. He's got half guard on the bottom position. He can finish. That's a good call by the referee to restart in that position because his head was trapped. It was a guillotine from half guard.
A little bit of a disagreement about where the legs were.
Yeah.
Delroy McDowell overseeing things. Freddie Barker's got his grips. Can he get something here, Dean?
Freddie's got a hand fight and try and keep that shoulder, that right shoulder heavy. If he gives up the bottom position, it means it's tight, Chris.
Barker trying to cinch up the submission off the resets. Davis trying to fight here.
But Barker can use this as an opportunity to get to the top position and pass the guard, which he does. Beautiful work.
And they're talking to each other. Davis says, hey, let's go. Barker joked and said, look, I don't even need a time limit. Let's do this as long as it lasts. There's no way I don't tap him.
This is where the skill set and the rule set gets interesting. To hunt for the submission, it really does force these athletes to put on a show, and a show they're doing. They're looking for the dominant position, looking to pass the guard, which in turn opens up more submissions. Cartwheel guard pass from Alfie, gets caught in an armbar. Alfie's going to try and shake him off, Chris.
Davis going for an escape, and he doesn't do it. Crazy armbar finish there by Freddie Barker. He wanted it. He called it. He said there's nothing but a tap out in this matchup, and he got it.
He's asking for the money. He got the armbar. He wants the payment in full now, Chris, in London. What a beautiful way to snatch it up.
Freddie Barker says, give me some skin. Amen to that.
He's looking for his money, Chris. He's come to collect.
Freddie Barker with the tap out here, the 29-year-old RGA product. Gives the fingers to the corner with the London Shoot Fighter crew. Listen, the guy's a character. He said, look, in grappling, there's people who are good, but I also got the personality. To Peter Lowe to give us the verdict.
Keep it going, ladies and gentlemen. A big round of applause, please, for both these men. But the end comes with 3 minutes and 13 seconds left on the mat. Therefore, your winner by way of armbar, it's Freddie Barker!
And mutual respect there.
And show your appreciation for our runner-up, Alfie Davis.
It was always going to be an interesting fight for as long as it lasted, Dean, but that was a stunning finish.
Yeah, I love the way he snatched up the armbar, and it looked like he was going to get shaken off, but he got perfect leverage on the elbow and hyperextended.
Well, Barker continues to capture imagination. He says raw main card. Let's take a look at it, Dean.
Yeah, this was the guillotine threat here. Davis was in a little bit of trouble, and he ended up giving up the bottom position. He did a good job of hand fighting here, though, Chris. Again, Harmon a little bit more difficult to finish.
And Davis was holding on there. He was hoping to get the escape, and eventually did. Barker postured up. Let's see if we get the vantage point on the finish. Talk me through it.
So Davis again looking to pass the guard here, leaving that right arm out there, trying to touch the hand. As the cartwheel guard pass, you can see the right arm got left in as he passed through. And look at that. Barker did a beautiful job of walking up and catching that perfect angle. He wanted to hyperextend the arm, and he used his heels as leverage. Look, beautiful work.
An absolutely gorgeous submission by Freddie Barker. Man, an early candidate for the submission of the night here over Alfie Davis.
A really unorthodox position as well. He squeezed the knees for leverage as well. Beautiful work.
And that man was pumped. Freddie Barker, ladies and gentlemen. While the action continues here on the undercard, great to have your company on the YouTube. We'll be going to Flow, the main card, down the road. It's super fights non-stop here from the Indigo at the O2. Chris Hoekstra, Dean Minette with you on the call. Plenty of guests to come later. We'll give you further updates. And Peter Lowe just about ready to get you next fighter on the walk. We'll throw it up to Matt's side.
And now, please welcome to the mat, from Colchester, Essex, Tia Barkum!
Tia Barkum, confident, excited, and she told me almost addicted to the sport of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Tia Barkum wasn't able to make the Road to Raw tournament, but has remained active. Now, a little bit of an inside story, Dean. She actually wanted to get on this show and was surprised. Her boyfriend reached out to the promotion, agreed the match, training under Alain Pozo and the likes of Taylor Pierman at ZR Team said she said was going to be the difference. So we'll see how that goes. Tia Barkum, ladies and gentlemen.
Tia Barkum! And please welcome to the mat from Iceland, Lily Rax!
But it takes two to tango. Lily Roch, a late entry. It's an international. She's coming in from Iceland, flying in on the wake of Grappling Industries performance and winning a number of other tournament formats. But most critically, Dean, you know, she's from the Molnar Gym, under the tutelage of a man who's coming off a recent victory in the UFC. In, of all places, this very building. Lily Roch, I think having that team behind you, from Gunnar Nelson, former McGregor training partner, among many others, that's got to count for something here, and we're going to find out how it goes. Here's Peter Lowe.
And ladies and gentlemen, this bout will be contested in the minus 66 kilogram division over the usual 6 minutes with a 2-minute overtime. Introducing to you on my right from Colchester, Essex in England, it's Tia Barkum! And opposing her on my left from the beautiful country of Iceland, please welcome Lily Rax!
So, Tia Barkum with the red band, Lily Roch with the blue rash guard, 6 minutes on the clock, submission only.
Head tie here now. It's a fight for the head snaps and trying to get your head and your hips lower than your opponents.
Now, Tia was aware of the short notice matchup. She said, look, nothing but respect for Lily to come over, to fly over on under a week's notice, but was excited at the opportunity to be able to push herself in front of a crowd, get onto the big stage. Like I said, confident, excited, and pretty much addicted to the sport. And what a way to get a matchup, right? Your boyfriend reaches out on the DMs, gets you into the show, and you find out you're actually going to be there. Last-minute opponent swap, doesn't matter.
Yeah, if you don't ask, you don't get. She's on the main stage here now. Did a good job of lots of pressure, driving that right knee forward. It's an opportunity here for her to walk up to mount or potentially circle around to her left side for side control. She's got to be careful of that leg lock attempt, however.
And Lily Roch, excuse me, was hunting for opportunities constantly. And it's something we've seen. I've seen a few people come from Molnar Gym. I even trained with some in London. You know, they're flying over to get involved in the UK tournaments. I guess, you know, being a shorter flight relative to some places in Europe, it makes sense. It's great to see the talent here. And
it's the experience as well. I saw a lot on social media, some of the fighters that were staying in the hotels, they were thanking World Grappling Championship for such beautiful hotels, and they really do treat their athletes with the utmost prestige.
So the 28-year-old Lily Roch with a record of 24-14, actually, hailing from Reykjavik, on her back here in empty half.
Barkum did a good job of trying to stuff that the right knee of Roch downward. She's got to try and escape that leg. She's got to be careful about elongating her right leg out towards her opponent. She's got to retract that, keep heavy.
Interesting twist that at blue belt, you're allowed pretty much every technique.
In the gi competitions, purple belts and above can utilize toe holds and knee bars. More often than not, in traditional gi competitions, no heel hooks. But the no gi, we see a more relaxed rule set where heel hooks are allowed. And again, under the rule set here at Raw, allowing all of these various submissions. And it's important as well. The heel hook's such a massive part of the game. They do damage and can put an athlete out a long time. But that's what the tap's for. You know, you've got to recognize when you're caught and initiate the tap early on.
And Lily mentioned that. She said, look, train under Gunnar Nelson and the rest of the crew, I'm comfortable with all positions and confident with those submission attacks and defenses. So she's been working on the weak spots, she said, with some losses, but that, you know, that experience, it all counts for something. But a big struggle here continues between Tia Barkum and Lily Roch. Tia from down the road in Colchester.
Barkum has a couple of dilemmas here. She's got to make sure she protects that right leg. She's got to control. This is what she doesn't want. Her leg to get elongated out and then Roch to get heel exposure with the heel hook. She can utilize the straight footlock as well from this position. Barkum's got to keep heavy. She's got to try and retract that right leg, knee down, foot back. She could also clear the knee line here as well. It's going to be a little bit difficult unless she sits back and turns, much like a sprinter would explode out the blocks to push on the rear end of your opponent and pull that knee line clear.
So a case kind of with this position, a backward step is worthwhile.
Yeah, initiation particularly to keep Roch folded over to that left side, try and stack the hips to the side and keep that foot safe. At this point in time, we can see from our camera angle here, the right leg of Barkum just poking across the body. She's actually holding on to it there so her opponent doesn't elongate out and expose the heel. And conversely, Roch has got to try and expose the heel. She's going to try and reach back and utilize the heel hook. Because you're ultimately as well got to try and sweep Barkum down to her back. That's what she wants.
So the positional struggle continues here as Tia Barkum and Lily Roch continue to duke it out during regulation time. Points not a factor. Submission the only way to win. And it looks like we might be heading for an overtime, Dean.
Barkum did a good job of trying to retract that leg to the opposite side. She's got to try and get her foot on the ground now and stand up. Force some weight through that foot. Or in turn, she can clear the knee line also. But again, this is attributed to the skill set and the rule set here at Raw. Heel hooks are very damaging. They go on quick. So we see the athletes really start to address those positions and try and keep safe when they're threatened with a heel hook.
And Tia Barkum just breaking up from uni, she said, was a big old stress relief. Happy to focus on competition for the summer. Coming off her first year in the books. Studying osteopathy. Oh, look at this. She's going to go for the position here, Dean. Look at that.
She's looking to counter with the guillotine. Might give up the bottom position, however. She's got to try and get some sort of guard here. In the key with that left leg, she could hold the half guard, but better from full guard to finish the guillotine.
And Lily Roch blocking, the clock running. Seconds left here in regulation time. Lily Roch looking to knee slice pass. Tia Barkum looking to find some options of her own. Inverting. Look at this, goes for the triangle.
Oh, that slapped on beautifully. She's got the angle. She's using the body lock as well. There's the tap, Chris, it's all over.
That's the tap. Tia Barkum with seconds left in this fight had promised a focused and dedicated performance. She gets the triangle submission, an impressive setup.
Beautiful work, create the angle immediately and use the body lock to look into the ear of her opponent. Gives you a better bite on the neck, a better angle for the squeeze, Chris.
That was insane, stunning. The clock was running, we weren't sure what was happening. She went, she found it, and a beautiful performance in the end. Peter Lowe gives us the results.
And keep it going, ladies and gentlemen, for both ladies. And with just 14 seconds left on the mat, your winner by way of triangle submission, Tia Barkum. And show your appreciation for our runner-up, Lily Rax.
Well, there you have it, folks. Tia Barkum with some style here tonight. Looking to continually push herself forward in this sport, Dean. That's the way to do it, man.
Yeah, I mean, we were immediately accepting that the overtime was going to be initiated, and she slapped on that triangle beautifully. It just goes to show in jiu-jitsu, anything can happen.
Especially when you're stuck in like one position for the majority of a fight, and then a couple of scrambles later, boom.
Yeah, she understood the position, she understood the danger, stayed calm and collected, escaped, and then initiated the submission off of her back. Very impressive work.
All right, well, the stream rolls on here at Raw Grappling Championship 2. Let us know what you think. Facebook, Instagram, and most importantly, YouTube. Engage with us. And of course, Flow Grappling. We'll be with you with more updates, but for now, the undercard rolls on. Peter Lowe has the walk.
And for our next contest this afternoon, please welcome to the mat from England, Owen Jones.
From time to time, the term uber prospect can be a bit of a misnomer in the sports world, but mark my words, Dean Midhat, win or lose, this kid's the real deal. Owen Jones blew us both away last time when he won the Raw Grappling Championship Blue Belt tournament after he predicted taking out his opponent in this tournament in the super fight with a Boston Crab. All we can do is sit back and get ready to enjoy the fireworks courtesy of the 17-year-old phenom. Dean, I know you like this kid too.
Yeah, I mean, you ask him what his best attribute is and what he's approved the most, and he will say the Boston Crab every time. A very, very unorthodox submission. And now he bravely takes the stage, he implements his game plan, uses what he's best at, and he's really focused on the mat.
And he took out Devontae Johnson-Rose in a stunning finale. If you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube on the stream from the last show. I think he was down about 18 kilos in that matchup, but a real prospect. Here he is, Owen Jones and Peter Lowe.
Owen Jones. And please welcome to the mat opposing Owen Jones from the UK, Corey Cooper.
His dance partner, Corey Cooper, was first introduced to me by his coach, Tom Bracher, who's on the main card in the main event tonight. And it was under the auspices of a prediction, actually. Bracher spoke of the possibility of a triangle choke finish. Not coincidentally, the same way Owen Jones lost to the Worlds recently. After speaking to Corey yesterday, Dean, he told me, I'm confident, and more importantly, level-headed and focused on taking this kid out. There's only one thing happening tonight, and that's derailing the Owen Jones hype train in London. Time to show.
Yeah, I mean, he's improved in every sense of the word. He's calm and collective, and he wants to be #1. He's honored to be part of the greatest show in England, and he's looking for the exposure.
And Tom Bracher there in the corner. Corey Cooper is on the mat, and Peter Lowe is ready.
Corey Cooper! And this bout takes place in the -70-kilogram division and will be contested over 6 minutes with a 2-minute possible overtime. Introducing to you firstly on my left, from England, make some noise for Owen Jones! And across the mat on my right, also from the UK, Sutton Coldfield, it's Corey Cooper!
And it all comes down to this. Mohammed Itumain in charge. Corey Cooper with the red band. And Owen Jones with the entirely black rash guard on the bottom.
Cooper now has to try and think about passing that left leg. He's got to be careful about the back take here. Escapes the right arm beautifully. Trying to pull the legs out of jeopardy. Might try and skip to the mount here. Potentially looking for the triangle for that top position. Now gets the foot caught.
Owen Jones spoke emphatically about his development with the leg lock game. He said he had an entry for the Boston Crab on tap, but he said, look, I'm a new school BJJ guy. Action and entertainment are at the core of what I'm trying to do.
Jones doing a good job of controlling both the legs here. Cooper has to try and peel those legs apart and escape that knee line.
Look at this. Owen Jones maybe looking to set up the signature finish that he predicted. Unable to do it, Corey Cooper underneath him. Owen Jones now potentially going for outside heel hook. Now goes knee bar. Oh! That is the tap out. Owen Jones in under a minute and a half with an absolutely stunning finish over Corey Cooper.
He did an awesome job of threatening the heel hook and followed the roll and initiated the knee bar. Perfect timing for that angle to hyperextend the knee.
Absolutely stunning and quick it was while it lasted. The 17-year-old Owen Jones victorious in regulation time over Corey Cooper. Back to the drawing board for the GB Sutton Coldfield product, but hey, both guys great talents. Owen Jones reigns supreme tonight. We'll throw it over to Peter Lowe for the verdict.
And ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause, please, for both of these men. Put your hands together, please, London. And after 1 minute and 17 seconds on the clock, your winner by way of submission, Owen Jones! And show your appreciation for our runner-up, Corey Cooper!
Owen Jones getting it done. Corey Cooper, your runner-up. It was quick, it was tasty, Dean.
It was beautiful to see him switch between the roll. I mean, the opponent will often roll to get out of a bounce, then get a reset to evade the heel hook. And to a degree, the roll helps until you stop. But he switched to the knee bar. The leverage completely changed and forced the tap.
And here, let's take a look at the replay. Talk me through it, Dean.
Yeah, check this out. So as he rolls, Cooper's rolling to try and follow the angle of the heel, but watch the way he switches to the knee bar, goes belly down on that joint and hyperextension. So it's switched from circular motion to downward pressure.
And there, forced to tap is Corey Cooper. Owen Jones getting it done in one. Gotta love the talent at Blue Belt, Dean. We've talked about it over and over and over. The level is absolutely frightening in 2022.
Absolutely outrageous for a 17-year-old, Chris.
Amen to that. So, more action coming your way here. Thanks again for joining us on the Undercard Raw Grappling Championship 2 from the O2 in London. Looking like Peter Lowe is just about ready. We'll throw it back to Matt's side. Walk your next fighter.
And now for our next bout, please welcome to the mat from Sutton Coldfield, England, Carl Akime!
Carl Akime, a former professional goalkeeper who spent the best part of 15 years, signed to Wolverhampton, also represented Nigeria internationally, yet after being diagnosed with leukemia and eventually finding his way to complete remission, fell in love with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The talk, From head coach Thomas Bracher, as this guy smashes everybody on the mats. A pleasure to have an athlete like that with an incredible and motivational story in Raw Grappling Championship here today.
Call Akime! And now please welcome to the mat from the UK, Fuad Ahmed!
And the journey from the early days at white belt are often the case where the first chapters are one of frustration and perhaps perseverance. But my recollection of the evening training sessions back at Urban Kings under Jude Samuel, this guy, I'd add the word sweat and pain to the equation. Well, Dean, all those years, they do add up to something. And now we're purple belt. Fuad Ahmed, an incredible amount of public support to get on this show and feature on the prelims. Tonight, the Inglorious Grapplers stand out. We'll have Jude Samuel in the corner. That's got to feel good.
Fuad Ahmed! And so, ladies and gentlemen, this bout takes place in the minus 97 kilogram division and will be contested over 6 minutes with a 2-minute possible overtime. Introducing to you firstly on my right, from Sutton Coldfield, England, please welcome Carl Akime! And on my left, from the UK, it's Fuad Safe Hands Ahmed!
So Carl Akime and Fuad Ahmed set to do battle here on the undercard at Raw Grappling Championship 2. Delroy McDowell in charge. Carl's got the red band, blue rash guard here for Fuad Ahmed.
Battle for inside position now for the underhooks ultimately as they go out of bounds. It's all about creating those openings, Chris, to pummel the underhooks, to get the leg exposure, to disbalance your opponent.
And Akime, the rumor is an absolute weapon in the training room. And Fuad Ahmed said, look, I'm going to smash this guy too. Oh, look at this.
Looking for the drop to Yanagi, doesn't get it. Got to get nice and deep and drop down the knees for that one.
Had a chat with Fuad Ahmed, the 27-year-old from the Inglorious Grapplers yesterday. Delighted to be here. Again, he had a ton of public support. And a lot of people will know Akime, of course, from his football career.
It's interesting. Oh, beautiful outside trip now, top position. It's interesting to see athletes from different backgrounds and what those skills translate to jiu-jitsu. And here we saw the speed and the technicality and the ability to maneuver his limbs around for that trip. Comes a lot from football, high-hand coordination as well to plant that foot in the correct spot to get the takedown now in the top position. Chris, he's got to look to pass the guard.
Yeah, it all started with that over-under, and Akime just doing a beautiful job putting Fuad Ahmed down. Looked like a couple of options a moment ago. Nice wrist control. Akime just looks so strong at the weight, Dean.
Akime's got to use that strength and that weight as well. He's got to try and put the chest onto the legs of his opponent. He's going to expose the back, jumping straight with the hooks. Only got one hook in, Chris, could get shaken off. He's got to try and establish that other hook. Could finish the rear naked choke, however.
He had the arm underneath the chin, behind the shoulder. Can he get the grips? Akime looking to hunt for the rear naked choke here. Fuad Ahmed fighting with everything he has to try to turn in. Unbelievable. It looks like we're going to get a reset here. Wow.
Excellent escape from Ahmed and making the effort as well to go to the top position. He's going to get restarted in the top position now in the center of the mat. That's going to be an advantage for him.
Ahmed talked about getting exposure with the world-class training behind him to take the next steps in his fight career. They call him the captain, he said, because it's always a safe landing. Well, at least sometimes, he said. Right now, finding himself on top. Akime closing the guard. Let's see what he's got.
It's going to be hard to break the guard from Akime. Again, footballers have tremendously strong legs with endurance, so he's going to be able to hold that guard in a great position. He also has the immense squeeze from the triangle if he can clasp the neck.
Well, halfway through regulation time here, and what seems like an absolute sprint between Fuad Ahmed and Carl Akime.
Ahmed has some options here. He could try and pass the arm across. But ultimately, he's got to put pressure on those legs or wait for this opportunity here. Akime open the legs looking for the triangle switch into the armbar. That gives Ahmed the opportunity now to pass the guard. He can't accept the full guard again here, Chris. And that's why you see there he's trapping the right leg of Akime.
So forward pressure here from Fouad Ahmed, looking to potentially open up a pass. Jude Samuel calling for him to just use that pressure, keep the shoulder from coming up off the mat. Akime turning in, maybe fishing for a Kimura here.
Yeah, Ahmed's got to drive that shoulder to shut down the space there between the shoulder and the head of Akime. And then he could look to reach forward and grab his own wrist and actually look to Kimura his opponent. But at this point in time, he's got to close that space here between the head and the shoulder of Akime.
Akime forced to let that go as Fouad Ahmed trying to clear the legs.
Ahmed looking for the mount here, going back to side control, maneuvering beautifully in the top position.
Look at the activity here from Akime off his back. Jude Samuel absolutely furious for Fouad Ahmed to charge forward and clear those legs.
Akime's got to get those legs in between here. He's got to look for the butterfly hooks, look for the half guards. Ultimately got to try and retract that left leg through from across the belly of Ahmed there and utilize it as a hook.
100%er option here for Akime. What a battle, though. I mean, incredible battle. The amount of pressure, and it's a combination of agility and strength here in this.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see Akime as well. Listening to his coach, Tom, in the corner, they don't want him to utilize too much guard today, which is interesting. So he might be looking to try and submit, use a submission for a sweep, or get back to his feet.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear it again. Tom Bracher talking about the fact of if you don't have it, don't expend the energy. And that's wise and sage advice.
Yeah, and an imperative in the submission rule set where you have to, you know, the rule set affords you to look for the submission. And when you get to that position where you can put a squeeze on, you don't want to get too gassed out. So taking those opportunities as they come is imperative.
Back to the upright, 10 seconds to go. Looking to invert is Fouad Ahmed.
Yeah, he's looking for the Imanari roll there to set up the saddle, then chase the leg lock.
Not today, says Akime. Seconds left, and it looks like we're heading for overtime here.
Head-to-head pressure. Deep breaths from both these guys.
And that's it. Quick chance for some corner advice and a bit of water, and we will go to 2 minutes overtime. The points come into play, Dean. We'll walk them through it as it happens. Positive and negative points can be awarded, yes?
Yeah, I mean, like the original skill set of passing the guard 3 points, knee on belly 2 points. But what I like is the varying of the skill system and an understanding of jiu-jitsu.
Goes to 2 minutes overtime.
A clean takedown that ends in a guard pass will give you 4 points. A sweep that ends in a guard or half guard, only 2. And a clean sweep that ends in a guard pass is 4 points, Chris.
So plenty to watch out for. Delroy McDowell says, let's go.
Now with points on the line, you might see more of a traditional explosivity and approach in the fact that they might look to expose the takedown and get in the top position. They might look for the underhooks, a kind of a cleaning up of techniques, not as free. It's like more of a planned out trajectory to establish a position where you would score the points. That's what we're looking for, the initiation of the takedown, to get the top position, to achieve the points of the takedown, to look for that guard pass for the 4 points.
And it's one of those things where one catastrophic mistake or one victorious maneuver could very well be the difference as both fighters continue to jockey for position. Akime with the bicep pummel. Getting inside. Tom Bracher calling for a trip. And I heard a moment ago, actually, if he comes in heavy, that's when we wait for the arm drag. So trying to get a read on things.
Ahmed looking for the drop Sianagi.
Not able to get it. That would have been the Hail Mary that was needed to get the W, potentially.
Yeah, he was really aggressive with the grips. He's trying to force Akime forward. He's ended up giving his back here, Chris.
He might be going for it. Whether he gets the position to secure the points or indeed a submission.
He's got to get that hook in. He could look to go to mount as well. And then from mount, he could sit there and, you know, just 14 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, is he gonna get it? Yes, yes he can. They're going absolutely nuts in the corner. GB Sutton's Carl Akime may have done enough.
Akime establishing the hooks was key. An educated crowd here as well. The second he got those legs around his opponent, the crowd applauded. The coaches went nuts. They understand that that 4-point lead is going to boost him through and get him the win.
And Carl Akime going 4 points, 4-0 against Fouad Ahmed in the end. Wow, an absolute battle of attrition. It was decided in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen submissions in the last 9 seconds, but it was the points. And again, Raw Grappling Championship, making sure they cover all facets of jiu-jitsu.
To Peter Lowe.
And ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big round of applause, please, for both of these men after a superb contest. And at the conclusion of that bout, we go to the points where we have a winner 4-0 in favor of Carl Akime.
And there you have it, Carl Akime victorious.
And show your appreciation for our runner-up, Fouad
longtime
Ahmed.
goalkeeper at Wolverhampton, also representing Nigeria internationally. And what a story, and what a win here tonight.
I mean, a great utilization of an awareness of the skill set. Look at this replay here. This is where he took the back, but what I liked is he recognized the drop Sianagi was coming. You know, Ahmed tried that throughout the fight, and he initiated a little bit of distance with the hip, and then jumped on the back, got the hooks in, and that's what established him the points.
And definitely an exciting, tense matchup on the upper end of the weight scale here at Raw Grappling Championship. Peter Lowe will get our next fighter out momentarily. We'll throw it back to him.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the mat from England, it's Lucy Stubbs!
The power of team can be, oh, such an important factor. A team can make you, they can break you, but for Lucy Stubbs, it seems to me the key feature is joy. The vibe at GB Sutton, she told me yesterday, is second to none. Alongside a number of her teammates here this evening, she felt the stoke to be part of the show and to go out and perform. Well, Dean, tonight, we're delighted to have her here. Her results in competition at this point, they do speak for themselves. And what a team to be a part of. And what a walkout tune as well, right?
It's really important to have the psychological activations to put you in the zone of optimal functioning. And often we see the walkout tunes throughout grappling, mixed martial combat sports. They really switch you on and get you ready to perform at your best.
Never mind, right, Dean? What an album. Listen, takes me back to my youth. Here's Peter Lowe.
Lucy Stubbs! And now please welcome to the mat from England, Jessica Harmon!
Somewhere in the outer reaches of the solar system, they say could very well be a 9th or perhaps even a 10th planet. But I got news for you, Dino. Just across the river in the Docklands between Royal Albert and Prince Regent is 10th planet London. Head coach Jamie Scott, shout out to him. Just getting his black belt this week from Eddie Bravo in LA. And tonight, Jessica Harmon couldn't be more proud to be part of that team and show off what she said would be a big advantage as a full-time PT with her fitness. And she felt that that would complement and boost an unorthodox grappling game. Watch out for the rubber guard.
Jessica Harmon! And this bout will take place in the -65kg division and will be contested as usual over 6 minutes with a 2-minute extra time. Introducing to you, firstly on my right from England, make some noise for Lucy Stubbs! And opposing her on my left, also from England, make some noise for Jessica Harmon!
So Jessica Harmon, will face Lucy Stubbs. Lucy Stubbs with the blue belt rash guard, the red band. Harmon promising some impressive guard play. Look to pull guard, flop to her back. Front headlock position here for Stubbs.
Yeah, Harmon said on guard passes and arm bars and pushing the pace is going to be the most important keys in this fight.
Stubbs looking to maybe expose the back, one hook in. Maybe going for an armbar here, Dean.
Yeah, she could slip off with the left shin across the back of the neck. Oh, going for the rear naked choke. That's underneath the chin, Chris.
Oh, she's got it. She went straight for the choke, Dean. We thought about a potential armbar entry, but right now, Jessica Harmon is in some serious trouble here.
She's got a hand fight here, Chris, and stay calm and collected. She's got to peel those arms off. She can reach back and try and peel the right arm downward to alleviate the pressure, and then she's going to look to turn into her opponent. Beautiful escape.
Nice escape from Harmon right on cue. It looked to be an under 60-second stunner in favor of Lucy Stubbs.
Stubbs going to look for the angle here, Chris. She's holding onto the arm, breaking the posture, which gives her the affordance for the arm bars and the triangles. There's the triangle attempt. She's got to make sure she clears the left arm and bites the neck.
Going crooked guard, now potentially getting the figure four. Deep enough.
She's got to create the angle here. Off to her right side. She could use the underhook of the leg as well to create the angle. She basically wants to look into the left ear of her opponent. As you can see here from our vantage point, their right shoulder's poking through a little bit. She wants to cover that space, bite the neck perfectly. And at this point in time, the left arm in play inside the guard is preventing the triangle from being super tight.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things, isn't it, where you do have options, but the lack of optimum angle and, of course, having two arms in, not quite perfect.
Yeah, I mean, Harmon can punch the arms in, but then she gives up the arm bar. If she pulls the arms out, it's the triangle. So
exactly.
She's got to stay safe. Oh, she gives up the sweep. Top position now. Stubbs could look to utilize the mounted triangle here, or potentially the arm bar, but she might look to jump off with 4 minutes left on the clock. She might look to stay in this position and dominate Chris and look for the submission if it presents itself.
Well, Harmon talked about her physical conditioning being a factor. She is holding on for dear life to prevent the submission offense from coming to fruition for Lucy Stubbs. But Stubbs has been absolutely dominant so far.
Harmon looking to try and come out the back door here. Going to try and escape that position. Could use the legs as well to pendulum for more momentum. She's got to be careful about that arm. Ultimately, the triangle is the main threat here. Stubbs can switch around to the opposite side to secure the arm on that right arm. But she has to try and rotate there around to her right side to change the angle. She might look for the back mounted triangle here. Ahmed doing a good job of trying to escape out the back door. She can over-underpass in this position here. If she gets the left arm underneath the leg, she's got to posture out the triangle, Chris. Double underpass here for Harmon.
Harmon looking to smash the guard. And it has been 3 minutes nearly of one-way traffic as Harmon with an opportunity here, the 26-year-old from London, from 10th Planet London, looking to find some opportunity here.
The control is the game here, and an evasion of the guard of Stubbs. Stubbs trying to walk around. She can invert here and try and turn back into her opponent, which gives her the opportunity to switch for more triangles. She's going to rotate, sets the guillotine up, gets the guard, Chris. Elbows nice and high.
Lucy Stubbs again hunting submission after submission, looking to close the show here. But an absolutely relentless performance on defense from Jessica Harmon, who continues to hang
She's got the arm in, Chris, so it's a little bit harder to finish. She's got to use circular motion here to put more pressure through the neck. She could also utilize the one-arm guillotine. She's going to go back to there. She cleared the arm. Now this is immensely tight.
Can Stubbs get the submission finish here? She talked about having better style everywhere this fight went, working on her pressure in the camp for the run-up. She might be able to get the finish here. We are so close, team. We've been so close so many times.
The credit to Harmon, though. Look, weathering the storm, defending the neck. The crowd respond with a clap. She's got to think about mount escapes here in this position. The bucks, the half guards. She could also look to set up leg locks from this position if she can buck her opponent off her and create some distance.
And it has been some incredibly scrappy survival skills here. Jessica Harmon talked about being absolutely prepared for a relentless pace, but it has been a relentless pace of defense almost exclusively. And Stubbs on mount, fishing potentially for another guillotine attack or maybe an armbar. But I like the patience. I really like the kind of the ebbs and flows of going for it and then being patient, going for it and then being patient. Tom Bracher talking her through the whole thing.
Looked like she potentially was looking for the gift wrap, or the Hickson wrap sometimes called, which can expose the back, give up arm bars, and also the back mounted triangle. But for Stubbs doing a great job of staying heavy and utilizing the angular control. Looks like she's trying to expose the back here, Chris. She's going to look to force down the left arm of Harmon and rotate her, and then sit off to her left side and potentially take the back. Oh, nice escape by Harmon.
Harmon again, finding some way out. The escapology on point. Look at this, she pulls, she's fishing. Comes up empty there on the armbar. It looked like she was falling back for an arm lock.
Yeah, definitely. She's got the knee across the belly. Just missed the angle, though. It goes for it again. Now she's got the hips a little bit higher. She's got some of the arm exposure. Looks like the elbow is in. All she has to do is hyperextend in this position, Chris.
Yeah, she's almost going kind of Japanese style with that knee in underneath the armpit. Unbelievable. A wild and frenetic pace. Harmon and Stubbs going to overtime. Incredible. I mean, that was just full fat action nonstop.
Yeah, Stubbs put on a relentless pace, quick fire submissions, forcing Harmon to defend the submission and positions right up to the end where she fired the armbar off of her back. Now, see, in this points system, if Harmon now tries to play it safe, I mean, she wanted to push the pace, and to be honest, she got closer to the finish when she did push the pace. She initiated the armbar.
Harmon not willing to take a backward step, sits down. Surprising?
Interesting, given the fact that she had success pulling guard for the armbar, but didn't really try and control her opponent. She just allowed her to maneuver into side control. Now again finds herself defending.
Now the danger here is, right, you might give up something like this, and that it could be the end.
There's the dexterity and flexibility of Stubbs, able to get both hooks in now. She can look to roll or flatten her opponent out. Mike goes back to the mount here just to establish the top position.
And it could very well be game over. 1:22 on the clock. 7-0. We are up 7-0, Dean. Unbelievable. Now listen, you know, submission only is submission only. And I know that, you know, there are some different philosophies, probably even from the coaching side between these two gyms. But right now, it looks to me like Lucy Stubbs is cruising.
Yeah, and we're afforded both meals here. We're afforded the submission rule set and then the points rule set. And it's a beautiful setup here at World Grappling Championship. And again, the game plans change, and with the rule sets that change, and Stubbs is taking full advantage of that.
And Stubbs just prepared to not only gun for a finish during regulation time, but play for points here in overtime. Came from a judo background, found BJJ, focused on pressure and good competition to become the very best she can be. Motivated by her family, Dean. It's a beautiful story, and you know what? It's been almost a perfect performance here tonight.
Yeah, and she's listened to her coach beautifully, Tom as well in the corner. She's listened to him, she's looked back at him, she's looking in the periphery, and again, she does it just there, just to make sure that she's tying all the loose ends up, preventing the escapes.
And credit to Jessica Harmon, too. I mean, it takes two to tango, and I've been really impressed with her very scrappy and persistent defense. But it seems at this point, with a couple of seconds left to go, it'll be a clean sweep for Lucy Stubbs. 7-0 on points by the end. The GB Sutton product, at 24 years young, has a very bright future. Take nothing away from Jessica Harmon.
Yeah, Harmon, if you talk to Harmon, she's always trying to get better as a grappler, specifically always doing more and learning more. And there was a lot to learn after that fight, Chris. She's going to go back and get better.
Amen to that. Lucy Stubbs, your winner, and Peter Lowe will make it official.
And keep that applause going, ladies and gentlemen, for both ladies after a superb contest. But after those 8 minutes of action, we go to our point system, where we have a winner, 7-0 in favor of your winner, Lucy Stubbs. And show your appreciation for our brave runner-up is Jessica Harmon.
And there you have it. Standing ovation from the crowd for Lucy Stubbs. Great exposure, getting her name out there. We're all part of the game plan, and she got exactly that here at Raw Grappling Championship 2.
Yeah, dominant top control and understanding of the rule set and positional awareness. You should check out the replay here, Chris, as she gets the back. She maintained this position. She went for the choke. She hunted on early, but she established the mount as well as back control and stayed in the game.
And you think listening to the coach, staying to the game plan, making the right adjustments, all key?
Perfect. And you know, this coach has had a different vantage point than you do. You can see what you need to do, and she attributed that skill perfectly in this fight.
And there we go. Nearly catching a triangle finish during regulation time was Lucy Stubbs. Showing technical attacking jiu-jitsu, and playing for points in the end was the biggest difference. But again, a real treat and a testament to the level of competition put on here at RGC. Back to Peter Lowe. We'll keep the action rolling.
And for our next bout this evening, please welcome to the mat, Daniel Usman!
Well, to the dulcet tones of B.I.G., it's Daniel Usman. And a lot of talk in the new school BJJ world, Dean, about the concepts of leg locks. Daniel Usman, a winner at the Road to Raw tournament, is known as Leg Lock City on Instagram, so that tells you everything you need to know about this guy. Love his style and delighted to see him here.
And please welcome to the mat as well, from Gloucester, UK, Ryan Graham!
And another quality walkout tune. Ryan Graham, top team MMA in Gloucester. Some connection to ZR over the years. The guy is an absolute fanatic about grappling. Excited to be on this card tonight, was absolutely dedicated to getting out here at Raw Grappling Championship 2. Well, he's got his wish, and he's facing a proven competitor who we know caused some real big problems for the talent at the Road 2 show. Love this fight. To Peter Lowe.
Ryan Graham! So, ladies and gentlemen, this bout will be contested over 6 minutes with a 2-minute overtime. Introducing to you firstly, on my right from the UK, make some noise for Daniel Usman! And on my left from the UK is Ryan Graham!
So Daniel Usman and Ryan Graham Usman with the tape and the red band on the legs and the spats.
Hand fight now for dominant position, underhooks as well, looking for the low single. And Usman wanted to wrestle. Always going for the footlock here, hit Chris, figure four toe hold.
He's going toe hold against Ryan Graham.
Goodness on the face. Oh, this is counter toe hold. It looked like they were out of bounds actually, a little bit of confusion.
Ryan Graham thought he had done enough to win it, prematurely celebrating, representing top team MMA and Rune Martial Arts. From Gloucester, spoke of making himself a household name. He thought he nearly had it. Usman also looking for the same submission. We get a reset, back to the feet.
That's another skill set in itself as well. When it's something is unorthodox and doesn't really go your way and it surprises you. You think you've won, all the adrenaline dumps and you think it's over, but then you've got to restart the match again. And the ability to switch back into that mode, to switch back into the fight mode and then select the correct game plan is a skill in itself.
Usman representing Legion Grappling in connection with the Inglorious Grapplers. Excuse me, Jude. Really focused on the leg lock game. Had a great chat with him at the Road 2 show, and I love the technical attention to detail and the dedicated study from this guy. So again, you know, talent working their way up. They both want to become household names.
Oh, looking for the trip now in the bottom position. He's got the underhook though, does Usman, so he could potentially sweep or take the back here.
Yeah, I was going to say, Usman actually looking to maybe sweep that foot, but actually fell down and now potentially looking for another leg lock entry. Ryan Graham staying very heavy on top.
Usman looking for the deep half. Could be looking for the sweep. Back step from Graham.
Reset here. Ahmed, I2 main. Happy to put both fighters back in center mats. Knee shield here from Ryan Graham. Daniel Usman spoke of bringing wrestling in addition to the leg lock game, which is an interesting combination, right? When you got that top control, the conditioning, the physicality, but also the attacks like this, and the knee bar for Daniel Usman. A beautiful leg lock finish, leg lock city, yes sir.
Did a beautiful job of touching that foot to fake the toe hold, and he looked for the avenue to secure that position, roll through for the knee bar there. You can see Graham with a little bit of pain on that left leg, but an emphatic finish here from Usman.
Usman, he spoke about getting that no-gi game at the front of his career trajectory, getting onto the bigger events and winning. That is exactly what he did tonight, getting his way here from the Road to Raw show. And victorious at Raw Grappling Championship 2 is Daniel Usman via knee bar. Peter Lowe has the verdict.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big round of applause, please, for both of these men. But with 3 minutes and 56 seconds left on the clock, your winner by way of leg lock submission is Daniel Usman! And show your appreciation for our runner-up, Ryan Graham!
All right, taking a look at it, Dean, here was some of the action off the mats. Ryan Graham actually thought he caught the finish, going toe hold. Daniel Usman also going toe hold, but that was all an illusion.
Yeah, Usman tapped there as if to say, well, we're out of bounds. Can you stop cranking on my foot to stop me popping my ligaments in my leg? And we saw Graham, but he seemed to reset though and get back in the game and back in the fight. You can see there, but look at the way that Usman reaches back. He was touching the foot, he was trying to bait the toe hold, but then went through to the knee bar.
And here, I think we're gonna get the actual finish. There we go. Usman stepping over, going knee bar. I was talking about the wrestling and the leg locks being a factor, right on cue.
Yeah, did a good job of threatening with the toe hold. But the way he steps over the body, completely clears, rotates, gets the angular motion there on the back of the knee. The hyperextension forces the tap.
And hipping in with beautiful style. Leg lock city, baby. Daniel Usman was a talent coming into the show, highly touted with his skills in the leg attacks. And like looking into a crystal ball, that's exactly where this fight went. All right, Peter Lowe is ready, and so are we.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the mat, from Tbilisi, Georgia, Sandro Tevzadze.
If we take a look at the most effective grapplers in any style and indeed in any rule set, Dean Mid-Hat Wrestling is key. The Georgian-born Sandro Tevzadze said that training 50-50 here in the UK and in his native country has given him tangible advantages in that department. Physicality, strength, conditioning, it's all there. He said he's gonna go out there and dominate this fight with his wrestling tonight.
And now, please welcome to the mat, from Hastings, England, Dan Young!
Making the walk from Hastings. Under Paul Bridges down there, the young man found kickboxing to lose weight, introduced to BJJ from some friends, and all the years later, here he is, making the walk at Raw Grappling Championship. Excited to have him here on the show.
Hezbollah's making the walk as well to the corner there with Paul Bridges. See if that gives Dan Young the power he needs to secure the win.
All right, to Peter Lowe.
Dan Young! And this bout takes place in the minus 105 kilogram division and will be contested over 6 minutes with a 2-minute overtime period if necessary. Introducing to you firstly, on my right, from Tbilisi, Georgia, it's Sandro Tevzadze! And on my left, from Hastings, England, it's Daniel Young!
Delroy McDowell in charge. 6 minutes on the clock. Dan Young from GB Hastings. Sandro Tevzadze representing the Inglorious Glappers just down the road in London. Red band on the ankle of Sandro Tevzadze. who promised wrestling and top pressure would be the difference. Dan Young working on escapes and counterattacks, looking to show that off here tonight.
Young's got to create the entries here. There's the single leg. Young looking to sprawl. Could look for the switch, potentially the Kimura counter. Sandro's going to be very heavy here. Pull the arm out and expose the back. Could go for the guillotine in this position.
Looking to maybe go Harmon. Guillotine, couldn't quite get it. Does he have the anaconda?
Switch to the anaconda. He's got to walk around and try and clasp the legs, Chris, for more leverage, but he gets the tap.
That's it. Sandro Tevzadze, the 23-year-old, undefeated in MMA, undefeated in BJJ super fights, gets it done via anaconda here in London.
Beautiful setup as well. He walked around to expose more leverage by trying to catch the legs, but he squeezed the knees together and squeezed the elbows together beautifully for the tap. Amazing work.
He talked about the top pressure and wrestling being the difference. That's how he earned the takedown. Exposing the neck. Jude Samuel walking him through it, saying all day, and that is exactly what happened. Well, he's a no-gi IBJJF European champ at blue belt, recently won the Australian Nationals and Naga tonight. A winner at Raw Grappling Championship, and Peter Lowe will give us the announcement.
And ladies and gentlemen, show your appreciation for both of these men, please. Put your hands together, London. And after just 49 seconds, your winner by way of Das choke submission, Sandro Tevzadze.
Sandro
Show your appreciation for our runner-up, Dan Young.
Getting the win. Absolutely delighted about taking the next steps, Dean. That was impressive.
Yeah, he used his wrestling for dominant control. Fired the arm up onto the neck as well and created the squeeze.
Drinks, and we'll get the action back under the way in 10 minutes.
Jude Samuel very happy there in the corner. Paul Bridges, of course, supporting Dan Young. That's a fight I'd like to see. Paul Bridges and Jude Samuel. Can you imagine that?
Oh, the old school grapplers, yeah.
Having trained under both guys, right? I just got to throw that out there. Anyways, the action continuing here at Raw Grappling Championship. It looks to me like that is the end of the undercard matches. We're going to take a brief little break, and we'll be back with another studio. I believe we'll get some fighters on from the main card to chat about the next section. Dean, your reaction so far, man? I'm loving it, right?
Oh, man, what an amazing platform and a showcase of skills. The undercard matches as well have just shown us immense amount of skills. Wrestling's important as well for jiu-jitsu, as well as the leg lock game. We're really seeing a variety of attacks and a variety of skill set on the undercard, and it's just going to get better with the prelims, Chris.
Now, you know what? We've talked a lot about this because we've seen fighters come into shows. We've seen inexperienced young fighters make a walk down a ramp to a big stage. And what have you seen here tonight that stuck out? Because, you know, again, for me, the biggest thing is the level. I mean, the technical level. And we said this last time on Blue Belts. I'm blown away. I'm terrified. I don't want to go to any of these gyms and train, but for me, it's the technical level. What's been the most impressive for you?
Yeah, I mean, Raw 1 was beautiful. We saw the talent pool in England on a big stage, and now we're seeing the variety of attacks. I like the different game sets and the skill sets, and then attributing the escapes to that. They understand the severity of the leg lock, so they immediately defend, but immediately look to escape the leg and get to a dominant position. And I love the way that we have the submission grappling rule set as well as the point system. We get a real feast in the grappling sense. You know, if the submission doesn't get attributed early on, go to the points. It's the perfect way to decide who is the definitive victor.
Now, if I take a look at this, and I'm kind of reflecting on what's happened so far, you know what I've also enjoyed is the cornering. The cornering has just been amazing. It's been so direct. It's been so clear. I mean, we're seeing guys that you and I have trained under that. I mean, we mentioned Jude and Paul. Shout out to Jude and Paul. But it's been a real treat to see.
Yeah, and again, I think the affordance of the Indigo at the O2 as well, it's not immensely loud. There's not crazy music. There's a lot of ambience here, and they can hear their coaches, which is the perfect setup. You know, they can attribute already the skill set of listening to your coach during a fight, but there's a kind of more availability for them to hear their coach and initiate what the coach is saying.
Now, speaking of a coach, speaking of a guy that we know very well, Tom, can you scoot over a little bit?
Yeah, I'm in, boys.
Perfect. I'm going to move this mic in just a little bit. There we go. Now, Tom, I know you're going to have a little bit of a difficulty hearing us on the feed, but your mic is hot, baby. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Yeah, I feel good. Like, rehydrated from yesterday for no weigh-ins, ready to go. So, excited, yeah.
We were just talking about the undercard, and you know, Dean and I have covered a lot of events over the years. Some of these fighters have never been on a big stage before.
Yeah.
We were blown away with the coaching. It's been a real treat to see you out there.
Yeah, like we enjoy it, right? It's like I always say, you know, when you come to the big shows, like it's a chance to show who you are, what you're about. Like, you know, we had 2 wins today. We had one that didn't go our way. But all of them put on a performance. They showed who they are, what they're about. They give their best efforts, and you know, that's all you can ask for as a coach, right? I'm here to give a little bit of advice, and you know, as you can see through different coaching styles with different students that we have. Some of them like to be coached through step by step. Some of them like a little bit of a laid back approach. Yeah. And whatever we find that works in the gym, we emulate when we go to the competition, and we keep it rolling, and we learn from every mistake. Like I said, as soon as Corey's match was over, I was asking for a replay just to try and go through a little bit with him. And we'll learn, we'll grow, and we'll be back stronger than ever.
Now, I remember because we spoke about this matchup with Lucas Barbosa. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But you confess that confidence is so key for you and has been so important in your own journey. Do you try to spread that out to your students?
Yeah, like it's a huge thing, right? I almost feel like you know, a very technical, good fighter with no confidence can be overwhelmed by somebody that is less technical, that is full of confidence, full of beans, right? The mats are mats. We train on them every day. We have no fear of showing up to training. We don't, you know, shy away from rounds in the gym. So it's the same environment. It's just on a different stage. Maybe there's a lot more people watching, so what? But the mats are the same. The rules of the game are the same. And we go out there and play the game every time.
Now, Dean and I were really most impressed, actually, with Lucy Stubbs. That was such a calculated fight where not only did she hang on all the submission offense in the first regulation bit, but when it came to points, going 7-0 that quick, it was so cool to see that in motion. It was poetry, man.
Yeah, I believe like the squad that we have there, and certain the players that we have, the guys that are training and competing are incredible. She's like a star amongst some of them. You know, she's gone full time with her career now, and starting to train like, you know, 2-3 times a day as a pro athlete should do. Her level is improving like on a daily basis. She still has a lot of technical development to go through. Of course, at blue belt, that's going to be a thing, but she lacks zero confidence, she lacks zero aggression, and she goes out there and lets it go. And it's very overwhelming for some of the women competitors. I've seen her with higher level girls and guys, and her aggression and her level and the way she goes after it is the same result with many of us as well. So it's no bad time for Jessica. I'm sure she will improve as well, but it's just a beautiful thing for those two to go together.
One of the things I think that really stuck out to us was just how resilient Jessica Harmon was. I mean, you got to take your hat off to her because that was...
I actually seen her backstage at the medical, and I said, man, you're so tough. Like, you know, I can tell she trains with some really good guys, and she's been in some bad positions, because some of those positions there, I'm sure I would have been panicking myself. So
I was panicking.
Yeah, she did an incredible job. She defended really well, and yeah, it was a great performance from her too. Like, I know maybe it didn't go her way, but she showed really good resilience, like you say, really good defense. And she'll be back, I'm sure.
Dean, another student of Tom's that we were impressed with was Akime. Fuad Ahmed, a tough guy, a guy that we've known since white belt. He's now a purple belt. But Akime, you told me he was a beast in the gym. That guy was a beast here tonight, Dean.
Yeah, you played football previously, so some of those skills, they translate beautifully to grappling. Very strong legs and awareness of the game, a nice tall frame as well. Is that something you work on in the gym? Do you pray to their skill set and try and implement that on the mat?
Yeah, like, of course, like when you're starting out grappling, right, you want to be making sure that you're enjoying it, and the best way to enjoy it is being good at it, right? So you have to use those natural advantages you may have. Like I said, Cole's very long, he's very strong, uses his frames very well, his wrestling is very good. I know he wrestles as well as doing jiu-jitsu too. Wrestles with myself, and you know, like on a wrestling for wrestling round is a tough round for me. Like, it's not easy. He's a very strong guy. Like I said, the mental strength that the guy has, and I believe that's his strongest tool, is incredible through what he's been through in his career. And this is, you know, not a small thing for him, but I believe, like, mentally, like, he's so strong and so prepared. There's not really much you can do to him that's going to phase him, right? And like I said, Fuad's very good, very strong. Seen him this week at the weigh-ins and so on. Big guy, good judo, good wrestling from watching a few of his transitions. And like I say, Cole, we call him the Capitan at training, right? He's the captain of our team, keeps everybody in check. He's like that old wise head, but with the strength of like a 15-year-old that hasn't been out of his house for 2 weeks. Like he's incredibly strong. And yeah, he's a true leader amongst our team. Like makes things very easy for me. He's a huge leader in our team.
All right, now listen, we've only got a few minutes left here on the YouTube stream. For those of you guys watching, Tom Breacher is in the main event tonight on the main card at Raw Grappling Championship 2. Will be live and exclusive on Flow Grappling before we close off the free stream, because we're on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that main event. Now, I want to go back all the way to last year. Raw Grappling Championship 1. There was a press conference. There was a Grand Prix. You were in the tournament. Lucas Barbosa was here. He was in a super fight on the main card. The two of you had words. Months later, here we are. It was like looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
Opportunity right on the doorstep.
Yeah.
Talk me through it.
Like I said back then, right, I predicted this was going to happen. It's something that we've had on the back burner, right? Look, I've watched the guy his whole career. I make no bones about that. He's one of the best in the world. I have all the respect for him. I believe from looking at his preparation and the way he's been training and some of the things he said, the body language he's given me, he's took me very seriously too, which is right now all I can ask for. Until I share the mats with him, I can only ask for that mutual respect. And, you know, like I said, we predicted it. I knew I would get under his skin. I knew we would instigate the match. And here we are, main event on Flow Grappling. And we're going to go to war. His style matches perfectly to mine. It's a very good clash of styles. And my job tonight is to out-hook the Hulk, and I believe I can do it.
Now, Dean, we saw Lucas Barbosa last time. He took out Gerard Lubinski, a stunning armbar finish. He's got almost 200 victories at black belt, right?
Yeah.
He's one of the best, consensus. What's it going to take for Tom Breacher to beat him tonight?
I think what he brings is, for me, Tom, is confidence. For you to come out here as well on a main stage, main event fight and still coach your athletes to the perfect level. It just eludes your confidence. I love the way he's so calm. I think that's going to be the key here. You step up to the plate and you really believe you're going to take this one.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you said, right, Tom? You said it's about the self-belief. You said there's a new Hulk in town, and that's not to be underestimated. When it's a championship performance, there's a belt, there's money, there's pride, there's people. It's on a broadcast, right? It's your moment. You have to seize that moment.
This is a huge one for me. This is the, you know, huge main event on Flow Grappling, a huge card, right? I'm here on Raw Grappling. It's the first match of my career that my two little boys are here. They're in the crowd. Yep. And like I say, it's going to be a changing of guard tonight. I'm excited to go. I'm happy with the preparation. I feel good. I feel strong. The weight cut was perfect. We rehydrated really well. That was like a small concern, but there's been no issues with that. We've been warming up backstage. We've been going through motions. I feel the best I've felt. And I'm ready to put it all on the line, right? Win, lose or draw, shake his hand at the end. He's an incredible competitor, like you say, over 200 wins at black belt. All the pressure's on his shoulders tonight, right? I come out, I do my thing. We go home with that belt over there, all the way back to Sutton Coldfield.
All right, listen, that's Tom Breacher. He's in the main event tonight against Lucas Barbosa. That's Dean Midhat, my broadcast partner, Chris Hoekstra with us. Dean, undercard is history. Prelims coming up. We're going to Flow Grappling next. Final shout out to people watching.
Keep tuned. I mean, we saw an immense amount of skill on the undercard. The prelims are going to deliver, and the main card is explosive, as we've heard already.
All right, Tom, final shout out.
Just look, tune in, right? Enjoy the match. Like I said, this is going to be an incredible one. We've had rounds in the gym. I know they're only gym rounds, but I know the potential of this match. He knows the potential of this match. He wouldn't be taking on, like, you know, an unranked black belt unless he felt there was something in it for him and something to gain. So it's going to be an incredible night. It's going to be an incredible night of fights. We have world champions on the card. We have, you know, Ethan Christensen from B Team on the card. That prelims is a joke, right? The undercards just set the pace. It really ramped up the ante for everybody else. Undercard come out and perform now, and then the main card, the pressure's on and we go to war.
All right, there you go. At the top of the hour, we'll be back with more action. The prelims, then the 4 super fights, submission only all the way. Tom Breacher in the main event. Dean Midhat, Chris Hoekstra. We'll see you in about 20 minutes for the rest of the action. That'll be on Flow Grappling. Until then, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.